I appreciate Tony Will. Don't we love Tony Will? And aren't we so proud to have him representing Harrisonburg and Rockingham County? And we are truly blessed here in the Valley. And I'm just glad to call you my friend and a fellow warrior. And we are happy warriors, aren't we? You know, we're going to fight every day, but we're going to do it because we know we want to keep Virginia the great place that it has been for so many years, the place I grew up, the place Tony grew up, the place my family is growing up now. I want to thank my wife Elizabeth for being here. She's my rock. Tony talks about that. But it's our wives and our spouses who are our rocks. And to Delegate McLaughlin, thank you for all the work that you do and for your new spouse standing by you. That we rely on our new spouses as well. But yeah, we want to raise our family in a community, in a commonwealth that is going to represent the values that we share. I mean, that stands for faith, that actually wants to embrace a community of faith. And we have talked to my colleagues and I live by this. And we live by the idea that God's got a plan. And I always joke that if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plan, because that will make him laugh. And that's what's happening right now in Washington. I have a plan. It is to get reelected as your congressman for the 6th District of Virginia. And with your help, and all of you do so much, and I want to thank Marshall and all the people who brought this delicious food. I'm gonna be that much more on the scales at the gym tomorrow, but you make it a happy weigh-in there. I get to enjoy so much of this good dessert. But for all of you who do so much work for the party, thank you so much. We are going to battle hard this year, and I'm going to be that happy warrior. I'm going to talk about promises made, promises kept. As we promised back 8 years ago, and it's hard to believe it was that long, that we were going to fight against wasteful spending. We were going to fight against the Washington bureaucracy. And thank God I have a partner in Donald Trump who is delivering and helping us in Congress to deliver on these promises. I mean, NPR and public broadcasting, defunded, zero. Planned Parenthood, defunded, zero. I mean, the education department, defunded, and shipping out all the different departments. We need legislation to close it because it's been statutorily created, but you know, we're going to work hard to make sure that we return control of education to parents and children. That's something Glenn Youngkin ran on and won on, and it wasn't that long ago that Glenn Youngkin turned Virginia the color on my sign. That color of Virginia on my yard signs is there for a reason. It's because Virginia is red. And when we educate the voters and we stand up and we fight for those values that we believe in, we will make Virginia red again. And so working up in Washington, you know, making sure that as Democrats in Virginia and in Washington to a lesser degree, but they have the majority in Virginia, so they have the pulpit. They have the bully pulpit. So they're going to stand up and start telling us things that aren't true, that we know aren't true, but that are going to try and influence people who aren't as politically active as you all are. They're going to try and talk about affordability and say, well, this affordability crisis that we're having across the country now, we're going to blame Donald Trump. But you all know better, and the voters know better, if they just think about where this unaffordability comes from. It comes from not just Joe Biden, but back beyond Joe Biden to Barack Obama. The Affordable Care Act has made health care unaffordable. The Green New Deal has made our energy bills unaffordable. The Biden Inflation Reduction Act has made the cost of everything unaffordable. So you want to talk about housing costs, go talk to your builders, any builders here, about what input costs make your housing more unaffordable for hardworking Americans. They're going to say it's the environmental regulations. And all the regulations that state, federal, and local put on housing, it's that added bureaucracy that Democrats love so much that's made housing unaffordable. All across, you talk about child care. Well, let's look at what's happened to child care over the last 20 years. You can't send your kids down to grandma, the local grandma down the neighborhood to take care of your kids anymore, because she would have to turn her house into a business structure. And with all the regulations that accompany a business, the ramps and the width and the hallways and everything, she can't afford it. It's made her small business unaffordable. It's made your child care unaffordable, thanks to the liberal left. So when people start talking about affordability, let's remember where that all came from. And that's what we're going to be working to do this year, to make sure that Americans, and especially right here in the Shenandoah Valley, who are sharp and who understand it, as we get impacted by the effects of Joe Biden's 4 years, and we're trying to undo it, thanks to Donald Trump and his agenda to make America great again. Yes, we are trying to rebalance our trade relationships with foreign countries, taking on China, taking on India, taking on Russia, taking on all these countries that have abused open trade, open and fair trade with America. We don't have slave labor like China does. We have a minimum wage. We have labor regulations that actually help to create a fair working environment for American workers. And we want to maintain those. But in the meantime, Donald Trump is doing what he can to renegotiate fair trade, and that creates some upheaval. If you've tried to buy some things lately, whether it's coffee or something else from a country that, if you try and build chips, if you're a chip maker, it's tough to do. But Donald Trump is doing what has to be done to not only make America great again, but make America a place, and Virginia a place, where we are going to be proud to live, proud to work, proud to be raising our family, our kids, our grandkids, our future generations, proud to have a country that we can call great. We're going to go through some bumps along the way like we did last November, and we are just going to emerge that much stronger and that much more determined to fight the good fight. And this year, I'm going to ask each and every one of you to rest over these holidays, because this is a joyful time. Remember the reason for the season. Remember why we're all here, and remember that there are things bigger than politics and than elected office and things like that. I'm just so glad to get every weekend to get to come back and spend it with you all and my family and my kids. I've got my girls are 13 now. Pray for me. 13, that people say, how are your girls? I say they're 13. That's a descriptive term. It means that if you want to find out how they are, check back every 5 minutes, because they change every 5 minutes. But I love to just get re-energized with them on the weekends so I can fight that much harder for you during the week. And we go back on Monday, and we're going to fight just as hard as we can again on this health insurance issue to make sure that we bring down your health insurance costs, not by taking your money and sending it directly to health insurance CEOs and padding their bonuses. That's not what health insurance should be. It shouldn't be these subsidies that we send to insurance companies, because those are your tax dollars. We should be making health insurance cost less. And if you buy anything else in the marketplace, start with car insurance, go all the way down to the flowers here on the stage. Competition lowers prices. If there's more people in the marketplace, more insurance companies in the marketplace, more products in the marketplace, the cost of your insurance is going to go down. And so we've got to roll back Obamacare, undo Obamacare, eliminate Obamacare, and restore the competition in the marketplace for health insurance. That's what the debate is going on right now about these health insurance subsidies. And if a subsidy for another couple of months to get us there is necessary. Well, let's cut that deal, because what I want is to get to a place where it's you, the American people, who are the beneficiaries of the reforms that are happening in Washington, and not insurance company CEOs who are benefiting from the secret backroom deals that went on during the last 4 years of the Biden administration. So we're going to fight for the next 2 weeks in Washington. We're going to come home, we're going to spend Christmas with our loved ones, and we're going to come back in the new year ready to fight for the people of the 6th District, ready to keep the 6th District red. I sure as heck don't want a Democrat representing the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. I know you all don't want a Democrat representing the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. So we're going to fight on this referendum. We're going to fight to educate voters. And then we're going to fight in whatever, if that passes, hopefully we can beat it. The courts are 50-50. You know, we've got litigation at the state level right now where we're arguing that they started the election before the first vote of the constitutional amendment, and they're not supposed to do that. So they're doing it wrong. We know, we're going to call them out. Hopefully we've got state courts and state judges who have backbone, like you do, like I do, to stand up and say, no, that's not how we're going to operate in Virginia. We're going to have good government, we're going to have fair government. And hopefully we got those judges who will stand up at the state courts. If not, when they draw the maps, if and when they draw new maps, if they're so egregious that there are federal challenges to be had, then we're going to take it to the federal courts. And we got a good chance there as well. And then, if they still insist on drawing districts that look like some octopus that draws tentacles all the way across Virginia, and you get to share your district with somebody from Arlington or Fairfax, you know what? We're not going to stop fighting, because we're never going to give up fighting for the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia, the 6th District, and Augusta County, and Rockland County, and Stanton, Waynesboro, and Harrisburg. I can't wait to fight with you next year. I'm already jazzed up. I don't even need to rest for Christmas. I'm ready to go. You ready to go? You ready to win? Let's go win. Thank you all. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America, and Merry Christmas.